Welcome to the Lifetime Assembly channel. My name is John, and today I'm going to help you assemble your 8x5 modern shed. Before we get started, make sure the model number of your shed is listed in the description below. This video will follow the steps outlined in the assembly manual that comes with the shed, but if you've already begun and need help on a specific step, check the description below for a timestamp associated with each step. Your shed comes in a couple boxes, but should all be on one big pallet, so let's take a look at what you should have received. There are steps within this assembly that require more than one person, so be sure to have at least one other adult available to help. Before we get into the assembly process, let's take a look at the tools you'll need to complete the job. You'll need a 7/16 wrench, a 3/8 socket, a Phillips head screwdriver, a rubber mallet, needle nose pliers, a Phillips head bit, a pair of scissors, a hammer, safety glasses, a block, a 5/32 drill bit, which is included, and a drill. You may see us use an impact driver. If you decide to use one as well, be sure not to over torque or over tighten the hardware. To make this easier, we're going to use a socket set, and a socket adapter. You will also need additional tools to prepare the foundation of your shed, so refer to your manual to see what other supplies you'll need. All Lifetime sheds require a platform to be built on. We recommend building one out of concrete, but you can also build one out of lumber. This video is meant to be used as a companion to the assembly manual and not a direct replacement, so for the best results, make sure to have the assembly manual on hand during the build. It's also crucial that you refer to the assembly manual to review the safety instructions for this build to prevent serious injury or property damage. All right, let's get started. This section will go over the requirements to build the foundation of your shed. This video will focus on the assembly of the shed and not the foundation, so refer to your manual in section 1 to see how to properly build the foundation of your shed. If you have any questions regarding your foundation, feel free to reach out to our customer service team at the number below. Take the left door, which is the door with the Lifetime logo, and insert a square tube into the square hole at the bottom of the door. Make sure that these two holes line up with these holes on the door. Make sure to leave a few inches hanging out so you can add the cap to the end. Then finish inserting the tube until it's flush with the bottom of the door. Add the door latch bracket oriented like this and only finger tighten the hardware for now. Locate these divots at the top and bottom of the door, and then at the bottom of the door, make sure the spacer says down and is oriented like this. The deadbolts are different, so make sure they lay on the spacer like this, with the spring closer to the outside edge of the door. Secure with the self-tapping screws. The screws are designed to go through the metal tube in the door. Repeat these steps at the top of the door, making sure the spacer says up. Place the two halves of the handle together and then secure it with the hardware to the door. The two larger screws will go on the top of the handle and the shorter screw will go at the bottom of the handle. Take a hinge tube and insert it into the round hole on the opposite edge of the door, making sure to leave a few inches hanging out of the top and bottom. On the back side of the door, locate this groove around the window and then insert the butyl tape all the way around the window. Remove the plastic film from both sides of the window pane. Place the window over the butyl tape, making sure all the holes line up. And then secure with the 14 screws. Take the right door and line up these holes on the square tube with these holes on the door, and then insert into the square hole at the bottom of the door. Leave a few inches hanging out and insert the cap into the bottom. Then insert the tube until it's flush with the bottom of the door. Secure the tube in place by inserting a self-tapping screw into this divot at the bottom of the door. The screw is designed to go through the metal underneath. Add the locking hardware to the door oriented like this. Place the two halves of the handle together and add it to the door oriented like this. When adding the hardware, make sure to add the bracket to the long screws oriented like this. Insert the hinge tube into the round hole on the opposite edge of the door, making sure a few inches hang out of the top and bottom. On the back side of the door, locate this groove around the window and then add the butyl tape all the way around. Remove the plastic film from both sides of the window pane. Place the window pane over the butyl tape, making sure all the holes line up. Then secure with the 14 screws. Connect the floor panels together by lifting one up at a 45-degree angle, interlocking the tabs, and then laying it back down. The doors can go on either long edge. Decide which side you want your doors to go on, and then insert the bushings into the round holes. Secure the floor panels together by inserting the screws into these divots along the seam of the floor panels. Take all the wall panels labeled AHD and add a wall support to this channel just to the left of the cutout at the top of the wall panel. Make sure that the two holes that are close together on the wall support are at the top. Make sure the holes line up with the divots and add the hardware. Take the corner wall panel labeled AGY and insert a wall support into this channel, making sure that the two holes that are close together on the wall support are at the top. Add the wall support to this channel on the wall panel labeled AGN, making sure that the two holes that are close together on the wall support are at the bottom. Take the corner wall panel labeled AGY and place the tabs at the bottom into these cutouts next to this bushing. Slide the panel over to lock it into place. I'm comfortable tapping it over with my foot, but if you're not, use a block and a rubber mallet. Lean the panel away from the floor, fold the panel over, line up the tabs at the bottom with the cutouts on the floor panel, and then apply downward pressure to lock them in place. If you're having a hard time getting the tabs to go in, it's helpful to place a block under each tab one at a time, and then apply downward pressure to lock it in place. Take a wall panel labeled AHD and insert the tabs at the bottom into these cutouts on the floor. Slide the panel over to lock it in place. Make sure the line at the top of the wall panels is even and then secure them together. Add the corner wall panel labeled AGW to this corner using the same method as the other corner. Add two more wall panels labeled AHD to this edge of the floor. The corner wall panel labeled AGL goes here. Add another wall panel labeled AHD. And the final corner wall panel labeled AGN goes here. Take the transom and lay the butyl tape over the groove around each window. Take the transom window pieces and peel the film off both sides. Place the window over the butyl tape, making sure the holes and notch line up. Secure the window panes using 12 screws each. Repeat the previous process, adding the butyl tape and window panes to the large opening on the left and right gables. Make sure that this notch rests over this corner on the opening. Make sure you choose the correct vent for the gable. It should be the same shape as the hole. Place the screen over the vent, place it on the front side of the gable, and secure with the hardware. Repeat the previous steps for the other gable. Take the wall extension and place it on the back wall, making sure that these tabs go into these notches. Secure the wall extension to the walls by inserting the screws up at an angle. Take the right gable and fold the ends up and then place it onto the wall. This step will be easier with another person. Make sure that the corners line up and the tab is on the outside of the shed. Secure the gable to the side panels with the 8 screws. Now secure this part of the gable to the wall through these 3 divots. Now secure this part of the gable onto the back wall through these 4 divots. Repeat the previous steps for the left gable. Take the left door and insert the hinge tube into the bushing, making sure the hole in the hinge tube lines up with the slit in the bushing. Insert the cotter pin from the front side going in, and then separate the pin to lock it in place. Repeat the previous step for the right door. Take the transom and place it over the hinge tubes. Make sure the divots on the transom overlap the divots on the left gable and secure with the hardware. Connect the other side of the transom to the right gable the same way. There are 3 height settings that you can choose for your shelf. They're determined by these divots on the wall. Decide how high you want your shelf and add the bracket at the corresponding height in the slits on the wall support. Take your shelf and fold the flaps on the ends up. Place the shelf onto the brackets, making sure that the side with the dimples is against the wall. Secure the shelf to the wall and the brackets with 2 screws each. Next, we're going to add screw anchors to the roof panels. They go in different places on each roof panel, so refer to your manual to see a diagram on where they go. With the part of the roof panel that says rear on this side, insert the screw anchors on the first panel into these locations. Make sure to keep track of which roof panel is which to make adding the roof panels to the shed easier later. For the second panel, make sure it's oriented the same way, and the screw anchors will go in these locations. On the third roof panel, the screw anchors will go in the same location as the second roof panel. For the fourth roof panel, make sure it's oriented the same and insert the screw anchors into these locations. Once all the screw anchors have been added to the roof panels, insert 2 roof supports to each panel into these channels, making sure they snap into place. Take the first roof panel we added screw anchors to, make sure it's oriented with the word rear on this side, add a gutter channel to this edge, making sure to only secure through the 3 middle anchors. Lift the roof panel up onto the shed, making sure the gutter channel rests into this notch and this notch on the transom. Insert the gutter channel covers into the ends of the gutter channel. Secure the roof panel to the transom through these 2 holes just above the window. It may be helpful to have someone on the outside applying downward pressure. Secure the roof panel to the gable through these 5 holes. Now secure the roof panel to the back wall through the 2 holes. Take the second roof panel, make sure it's oriented with the word rear on this side, add the gutter channel to this edge, making sure to secure through the 3 middle anchors. Lift the roof panel up onto the shed, making sure the gutter channel goes into these notches and then the other edge goes into the previous gutter channel. Then add the covers to both ends of the gutter channel. Secure the front of the roof panel to the transom through these two holes. Secure the long edge of the roof panel to the previous gutter channel through the 3 holes. Secure the back of the roof panel to the wall through the 2 holes. Take the third roof panel, make sure the word rear is on this side, add the gutter channel to this edge, and secure through the 3 middle anchors. Add this roof panel to the shed using the same method as the previous roof panel. Add the final roof panel to the shed, making sure the word rear is on the back side, and secure it to the gable, wall, transom, and gutter channel. Secure the gutter channel covers in place through the anchors we left open earlier. Locate these divots on the transom. There's 2 here and 2 on the other side. Drill them out with the provided drill bit. Be careful not to go all the way through. You're only going through the first layer of the hinge tube. There are 5 locations on the transom that you need to add the screw anchors. Take the upper header bar, which is the long square tube, and add a cap to each end. Place the header bar over the anchors we added earlier, and then insert the hardware into the 3rd hole going in to the hinge tube. Take the lower header bar and orient it so that the 3 small holes are facing up, and then insert a two-way plug into each end, making sure it's oriented like this. Take the extensions and add them onto the two-way plug, making sure that the end with the small hole is facing up and going onto the plug. Now add a cap to the end of each extension. Now we're going to secure the tubes to the two-way plugs, but before you do, make sure it's oriented like this with the small hole on the left side of the square hole. At the top of the doorway, locate these holes and insert the screws going from the outside in. Place a header bar over the screws we added earlier, making sure that the screws on the header bar are facing away from the transom. Continue holding the header bar, close the door, and make sure that the deadbolt goes into the square hole. If the deadbolt doesn't go into the square hole, or the square hole is over here, you need to flip the header bar, which also means you need to flip these screws onto the other side. Once you've confirmed the header bar is in the right place, secure the header bar to the screws with the cap nut. Secure the extension piece to the transom. The black screw will go into the hole in the end, and the silver screw will go into the second hole. Secure the lower header bar to the transom, go into these two holes. Don't put anything in the middle hole for now. Secure the other extension using the same method as the first one. Add the vertical brace in between the two header bars oriented like this. Secure to the header bars and the anchor in the transom. Finish securing the upper header bar, placing the skinny hardware in the smaller hole and the bigger hardware in the larger hole. Close the doors and place your gap flaps over these divots at the top of the door and then secure with the hardware. Add these covers to the openings on the back and side of the shed, making sure they're oriented like this. Your shed comes with 6 wall hooks and they can go anywhere throughout the shed in these notches. Now you need to make sure your doors are level. Click on this link here to see a video on how to properly level your doors. We've already done that, so we're going to move on. Go inside the shed and then have someone close the door and lock it, and then tighten this hardware that we left loose earlier. Thank you for watching this video on how to assemble your Lifetime 8x5 modern shed. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up. For more content like this, subscribe to our channel. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to our customer service team and check out our other awesome products at lifetime.com.